It is about time for about high skill demand. Let's gonna be start driving, and looks like we're doing for ourselves in a little bit for our cars to reference. But before we're gonna be make it onto the straight, let's start with the LMP2 car in but on for this one straight. And because this is absolutely gonna be starting all the way throughout here, and it's still night. Now we cannot able to hell that day. It's all time driving for this one, as we take it about for a few kinds of loads. And before this is some kind of just huge like these things as well. Now let's gonna be doing about to start in about only one prophecy in about only like I say. Now let's gonna be heading out, and the sun has officially came up over here. Now let's use race cars. And about something, we're going to be using about LMP2 cars first. And before, like I say, we got one LMP prototype, must be for adjusted for just a little bit one. The Crest 1 Lion LMP1. And this must be the absolutely really fast as really passion. And the next one is the Mazda 787B, and the high skill demand was Nissan R92 LM. It must be the R92 CP for this turbo concept a little bit for this one. This is absolutely rating for 650 horsepower. Now let's spawn over here against the professional size over here. Now looks like he just spawned around for the 787B. Now looks like we're gonna be using and around for some kind of a little bit amount of decades. Now we're just using for only one automatic like this manual transmission. And we're going to be using only about for just a little bit of one gear. And about only one decade. In the LMP1 class, we'll be taking around for a super lap inside of this one. Inside of some kind of North circuit. And located not in Dubai or something. This circuit wasn't located in about somewhere in Azerbaijan or Egypt. In about North circuit. Looks like we just absolutely use for one gear. And it does not recommend it to use some kind of other kinds of GT cars as well. And some LMP1 cars, there are no match to this track. And because of this one thing, I think this is not going to be absolutely tried to do like this. And it's got to be so hard than I ever expected while using for this only manual transmission. Now if this is absolutely to take around for this necessary, this guy over here that's required to take on long high speeds, I can't believe it. This is not able to get for a match of this one. Okay, this is gonna be very match for all of this one, but all of a sudden we'll be taking around for its 5th gear, and we'll be taking on to it's gonna be for financial high speed lap times as well. Let's start braking over here, and this LMP1 does not match to this circuit. I'm not pretty sure it's not. That it should not able to get to do so, like I say. And because of this only one strategy that we're going to be taking on to its 2nd place. Looks like we're going to be taking around for the final corners to go. But looks like we're going to be taking understandings. And against a little bit of while. Now looks like we're going to be taking on for something getting one corner cuts as well. So looks like we're going to be taking around for its 2nd gear. And start the lap times as really fast as possible before it won't be able to get something kind of corner cuts as well. 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Now started against a little bit slow, but the LMP1 cars were not something like it to do this anymore. And because this is only one problem, that should be reach up to 7,000 RPM. Now looks like it's going to be taking a little bit good times, and we'll be taking it around for this only one strategy to take on its 1st gear, and not taking onto this one as well. And this track does not supposed to be for only LMP1s, but this track wasn't supposed to be that either. This track does no match to LMP1 cars, and absolutely it turns out into Macau circuit as well. Now looks like we're going to be taking onto is a little bit of reversed in one gear. Now looks like I have to be careful around for this circuit by using the LMP1s on high skill demand. If this is what absolutely it's gonna be happening for just a little bit, as this video is another 15 minutes long than I would ever expected, that I never able to say And what I ever expected is gonna be something like a various outlawing. For this one is gonna be one of a kind. So let's gonna be using around for its second gear to third gear as well. And looks like we're gonna be taking up for super lap. I don't really think we just need for a best lap time whatsoever. And I think this is not very good for this a little bit. So I just gonna be suggest to turn on the headlights. It will not take him for a best lap time, and because the bad thing is, it cannot be. It's not taking for just a little bit good. But all you have to do is gonna be taking all of this wisely into it something like a very huge bad luck. Whatever it is, it's not pretty good for just a little bit something. It's absolutely 1 minute and 54 seconds. It's slower than the LMP cars as well. I mean, it was absolutely slower than the GT2 cars as well. I make sure I have to get back into the menu as really fast as possible. Well, that wasn't pretty good. That we're gonna be head on to Seoul Circuit, located in South Korea as well. Because there's only one thing that we're absolutely started to get all of among to this one in one place. Let's do this for its only one time, please. It is not gonna be taking for out of us. As to do, like I say, it's the middle of the day, and we're gonna be taking on for its first steps of lap times as well. Let's spawn the car, and it won't be gonna be to do the little bit for as well. We're not gonna be using for 787B, but only for a high skill demand, who was using for the McLaren MP412, and using for the McLaren MP4 of 4 as well. So looks like we're going to be jumping inside of the LMP1 vehicle as well. So let's going to be using automatic gears as well. Not even possible. Not using for our very high skill demand vehicles as well. Only reaching up to 7,000 RPM will be exactly how we're going to be taking on a high skill demand for the LMP1 cars and Group C cars as even possible. If this is not I just gonna be expected for this one, I'm pretty not sure that we're gonna be taking on to a very best lap time by using LMP1 cars, as we're gonna be using for intimidating by using an LMP1 cars, and all of the sudden, by it looks like it's gonna be taking for out of super laps as well. But without super laps by using the LMP1 cars, that resulting nothing at always. That we're going to be hitting around for 7,000 RPM. Now let's take it around for very slow. And to do this, like I never able to say, this is going to be way more quicker than I ever able to possible, like I never see. And because of this only one thing that I absolutely never want to know, and because only one thing is going to be taking with us for our very faster lap times as well. That's going to be taking for just a little bit of one. And we'll be taking on to this a little bit for one thing. That's going to be hitting out to 7,000 RPM, start braking in 1 minute and 18 seconds, but overall faster than a Super GT car. So looks like it's absolutely faster than a Nissan Skyline JGTC, but things are just going to be a little bit pretty fast, that's very possible. But along to its side is going to be way more faster than Hockenheim. But although we'll be taking around for very slow for itself, it's not going to be taking for over one thing, it's not going to be taking very much as always. Now we're going to be heading out for second gear, it's not going to be such as very pain. And I'm just going to be pretty good at sim racing at this all. I'm not going to be going inside of the onboard view. It's not offending that we're trying to do like I say. Now we're going to be taking us for our second gear into third gear and blast it all the way to fourth gear. If this is not going to be taking around for this possible either, if this is absolutely going to be taking for about for this necessary, now we're going to be taking onto our fifth gear and all the way we go. And looks like we're not going to be handling as much as very possible until I start corner cutting as literally well. So it looks like we're going to be taking around for this 1 minute and 15.141. It's absolutely the same as lap time as Dashinator or the 1000. Looks like I have to do this for once again. We're going to be hitting around for 7,000 RPM and blast it all the way up here into its 1 star. And this is not going to be taking all the way down here to its 1 second. And I just mentally got to be getting distracted all the ways. And because I might lap times won't be gonna be trying to take it all the way around for this. Let's take it a little bit slower than I absolutely very expected that we're gonna be hitting out for 7,000 RPM. Now the good thing is, I just gonna get distracted all the time. That's not very good about for this moment. Now let's start slowing down into gear 3 by, like I say, it's gonna be hitting up to 7,000 RPM. This is absolutely pretty evening as well, not even possible as well. Maybe I might be able to start corner cutting as well. And looks like we aren't able to get even more faster lap times. Never able to see around for this moment. And because of this only one problem, it's going to be taking for a little bit much a track exceeding warning for our very first time. Because in totally 1 minute and 15.829. It was a bannable of sense as we're heading back into the menu as literally possible. But our last time will be taking on to the reign of terror inside of for a little bit of Jackson Storm as well. So let's gonna be multiplayer to Sojorka circuit. That's gonna be getting into this moment, and that is gonna be a little bit terrible as in our final lap as well. Now it should be gonna be going on time. Now once it's absolutely morning, we're gonna be using about for the Mazda 787B first. As before, we're gonna be doing this about this one strategy. Now let's taking for around for the spawn. Looks like I have to start for the Group C vehicles as well. If before we might able to get for Group C cars, let's spawn for an LMP1 lap times. And because how bad it is gonna be taking a little bit slower. It does not pretty able to handle like this. As before, we're gonna be making on to the start. I make sure this car just using for a manual transmission as well. And like I never say, and about this vehicle was absolutely pretty slower. What I expected to try to be so, and it was absolutely hitting up to over 200 miles per hour with this kind of one vehicle. If this is not going to be very as literally possible, it's not going to be taken for a very good as well. So if this is not going to be very possible, this car has matched into the track, and because of this LMP1 car doesn't match into some kind of circuit, it does absolutely, it's overcast day and it's about to start to rain overall, and we're going to be heading on to our very first couple of laps and about for this car anyways, and using about the 6th gear, and we're absolutely all ready to start out into this 270. And looks like the race has been started, and looks like I'm about to turn on the headlights on, and which is absolutely pretty intensely like started to smash it all over way until it's not going to be stopping over today right now. I think this is not going to be very sure. It's already going to be very start at this moment. If this is what happened, it's not going to be taken for a very good about this. It has a 7 sequential transmission. And looks like, remember back into this video, when it absolutely starts raining, it's not taken for a very good status. But I can still see the sun over here. And by the meantime, it's over, then it's gonna be less. It's just like the 2016 hour. And because of the rain starts at back here, because due to torrential rain, we'll be absolutely taking for one disqualification. Not literally over here. 24 hours later, it was absolutely just trying to do like this because all of a sudden this LMP1 car give us pain in high-speed rails or high-speed tracks, and it does not able to try to do like this one, but actually to try to take this a little bit one side. But overall, and because it won't be gonna be taking for just a little bit much, so I suggest I'm gonna be turning off the headlights off. Because looks like this is absolutely taken for much intimidating. I mean, this is not intimidating at all, because due to itself it's gotta take a little bit worse, and this LMP1 car is giving us pain, and no match to all of these tracks, not including about for the Tsukuba circuit as well. So all of this one is gonna be taking all of our very back as well, and because by due to held of day, it's gonna be taking for a very bad strategy as well. But it's absolutely taking for a very much long time, and because all of a sudden, and about for a couple of turns, we just slightly make things very bad as always, and because due to itself, very much, as it's gonna be taken for a 200-mile-per-hour loop. If this is not gonna be taken for a very much strategy, it will be absolutely gonna be taken around for a safe. This lap was invalid, and it's not gonna be taken for a very good as very much. What all you have to do is try again is impossible, and because due to extremely bad luck whatsoever. However, this car is gonna be running on over 250 miles per hour. If this is not gonna be exactly how it is, and because of this only one strategy, that could put us to pain as well. Looks like we're just absolutely reaching for over 220 miles per hour, and all of the sudden it wasn't absolutely pretty much as well. So let's gonna be doing for our super lap with this LMP1 cars. As you don't need to get for pretty means, this LMP1 does not try to do like this at all, because I swear I forgot. I so much swear forgot for forgetting all of this one, as I cannot able to do so like I say. And because this LMP1 does no match to some other kinds of tracks as well, it's not improvements as well. And because this track wasn't absolutely going to be pretty wasteful, and that should be going to be taking for many hours as it could to do super lap with this LMP1 car. And I don't pretty think it's not going to be handling for very much more time. And since the rain has been stopped, even for the last morning, even 24 hours later, even I just staying around in this server, because due to itself, it was absolutely pretty much worse. Now looks like if I just gonna be taking around for this only one strategy to take all around inside of this circuit, and because of this instead, we're gonna be heading on to there's 190,444.791. So looks like we're gonna be taking a little bit slow, but turns out that wasn't matched to all kinds of other tracks itself. I'm not pretty sure that we're gonna be super lap with this LMP1 car, but only Group C cars can absolutely super lap at this thing. So I hopefully that we're gonna be taking a little bit slower. Unfortunately, we're gonna be taking about for this easy stepping all the way around here, and because all of the sudden will be not subject that we're gonna be using around for the LMP1 cars as well, as it's gonna be used to be for our Gran Turismo style. I might gonna be swear it won't be swearing for this a little bit for all of us. And because this is absolutely to take all the way for about this one, even though it's gotta be start raining another time and start braking into this one, I'm pretty sure that I have to be so slow that whatever that I'm gonna be expected to do so. And this is absolutely pretty completed in the last few couple of corners, which is absolutely keep on failing in about for this one moment, and it's gonna be very terrible as hell. So if I just gonna be switching into automatic transmission, it's back to dark. Then it's absolutely 24 hours later in one time, and looks like it's about to rain again, and it's gonna be taking for a little bit of time, but due to this feature of rain will result that LMP1 cars that might able to spin off and trying to make all over this a huge amount of mistakes. And because due to this situation will be gonna be resulted this problem out of the SCP stage and run out of time, and we won't able to get around for this moment. So I just about to start braking. Now it's gonna be about for this only one time, so let's gonna be hearing around for the gear second. Now blasted all the way into 7,000 RPM, and I hope this car doesn't really match to this circuit. I mean, it's not does really match into the circuit, and unfortunately it does match into this circuit, but unfortunately we just made a not supported to our best lap times. I couldn't able to see like this before if this is not absolutely for our best lap times, and because due to itself a huge amount of bad luck, if I just got the corner cuts once again, that was even more terrifying than I just ever expected. This car does not match into this awesome kind of other things, and it does not absolutely match to our best lap times, but not supported for our best lap times. We're gonna be trying this again. But one thing is, this video is gonna be for taking for under or 13 minutes off for just a little bit. If this is not gonna be taken for about for this strategy, And the last thing we need to do, 4 minutes and 52. Looks like we're just never going to be able to take around for this dark strategy. It is absolutely pretty darkness for whatsoever after the rain has been stopped for just a little bit overcast day. So tomorrow it should be going to be taking for a little bit, and another storm will be raging at about for this one. Let's going to be using our second gear at about over 7,000 RPM. We'll be highly going to be taking for just only one thing, whether I'm going to be doing corner cuts. And now doing this slowly, that wasn't absolutely pretty quite as well. And because of this absolutely what happened to this last kind of laps as well, and because it will be taking for so many laps in today's episode for just a little bit, it's not going to be today's episode for a little bit for right now. Now we're going to be taking all over to this one and start going to be getting slow and head on to outside lane. And because all of the sudden it won't be going to be taking for very as much. Now it's going to be really early in the morning. It will be going to be taking for so much time. And before this is absolutely taking for a very much, that was even so cursed at all. So if that wasn't absolutely necessary, that we're taking about for this breaks early onto this scene, which is might able to get a huge amount of corner cuts as well. We're not going to be doing this for literally next time, as because of this best lap time was absolutely not good, really not good for this one. And because all of the sudden that was even huge amount of pain, and looks like it was literally morning in about for all of the ways. Now that was so extremely hard about for this vehicle. If this is absolutely does not match to this circuit, now we're entering to the safe zone. Now looks like we're going to be taking about for this very perfect in about the second gear. If this is not very good in about for lap times, this is going to be taken for extremely amount of hard times as well. That not glazing all over to this one as well. And because it wasn't blazing, glaring for these other kinds of itself. Now I can see the pit entrance as well. Some kind of car parking as well. And it looks like it's just absolutely it's taking for a huge overshot. And because all of a sudden the best lap times won't be enough. The best lap times, that video was in support of this best lap times because due to its huge failure, and because due to its own one thing, will be absolutely hitting all over to 240 miles per hour. And it's going to be taking all of this one, 220 miles per hour. 225 to 230. Oh my gosh, that wasn't good lap at all. Now we just absolutely barely itself for a huge fail and about the weekend laps as well. And because due to something for it's extremely terrible that I got one corner cut itself, and looks like we just made for a huge amount of fail, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. That was very terrible that I ever expected. And which is absolutely the end of this video and about for this one. And if this is absolutely going to be necessary, too much and very terrible, this vehicle is no match to all tracks as well. Not all tracks, and by some other 3 tracks and against only one of them. This LMP1 does used for this kind of a green circuit, by the way. If that was not enjoying for this video, I'm sorry, this vehicle was not supported in the best lap times whatsoever, as we're going to be doing this for literally next time. And thanks for watching, and it won't be going to be trying to do like this next time. That was very terrifying, and I might be able to get returning to menu, which will be Triple Concept signing off, and I'm going back into the menu. It won't be absolutely this likely, but please sure to leave a like on this game.